The wind whipped through the endless rows of golden corn as Leah tightened her worn leather gloves, ready to take her old crop duster for another sunrise run. Flying was all she ever wanted, even if her world was just the quiet fields of Nebraska. Locals called her the Cornfield Pilot, laughing at how she treated her rusted plane like a fighter jet. But Leah didn't mind. Up there, above the clouds, she was free from small-town gossip, free from the weight of her past. No one knew that once, long ago, she wasn't just another pilot. She was Viper. That name still echoed faintly in restricted airspace, a call sign once feared and respected by those who flew real war machines. Leah thought that part of her life was buried forever until the morning she heard a sound that froze her mid-flight. From the horizon, 3 F-35 fighter jets appeared, slicing through the sky like blades of light. She didn't know why they were here, or why they seemed to be scanning for something. Then her radio crackled to life, breaking the silence. Unidentified aircraft. Respond. Call sign reads Viper. Leah's heart pounded. The name she'd sworn never to use again was now echoing across military channels. Who had given it away? And why were the F-35s looking for her? She hesitated, hand trembling over the radio switch. One word could change everything. Should she answer or vanish into the clouds forever? Leah didn't answer right away. Her breath came in short bursts as she steadied the plane against a gust of wind. The radio's static buzzed like a heartbeat in her ear. Viper. It had been almost 8 years since anyone called her that name. She'd left it behind the moment she walked out of the Air Force Base. Trading combat skies for quiet fields and yellow sunrises, no one in her small town knew who she really was, not even her closest friend, Tom, who ran the fuel station by the airstrip. To them, she was just the woman who flew too low, too fast, and never missed a crop line. But the F-35s above her weren't random patrols. Leah recognized the tight diamond formation, the same pattern used only by elite test pilots. She knew those moves. She'd invented some of them. So why were they here now? She hadn't touched a military radio frequency in years. She'd made sure of it. Her hand hovered over the transmitter. Part of her wanted to answer, to find out what they wanted. The other part screamed to cut the engine and hide the plane in the hangar. Maybe someone from her past had found her someone who shouldn't have. Then, another voice broke through, clearer this time. Viper, if you can hear us, we need your help. It's about Project Eclipse. Leah's eyes widened. That name was classified, locked behind layers of clearance. No one should even know it existed. Leah's pulse quickened as she banked her plane to the left. Staying below radar range, Project Eclipse. The words pulled her back to a time she'd fought hard to forget, a classified mission that ended in disaster. One that had cost her team their lives and her career. She'd taken the blame and walked away, vowing never to fly in combat again. But if the military was calling her now, it meant something had gone very wrong. Static hissed again through her headset, followed by a faint male voice she hadn't heard in years. Leah, it's Mason. We don't have much time. The name hit her like a punch. Captain Mason Cole, her former wingman, the one she thought had died when Eclipse went dark. She tightened her grip on the controls, eyes darting to the horizon where the F-35s still hovered. Searching back on the ground, Tom waited near the hangar. Watching Leah's small plane circle against the morning light, he noticed something strange to black SUVs parked near the cornfield. Men in dark uniforms scanning the sky with devices that didn't belong in a farming town. He grabbed his phone, but the signal dropped. The air felt heavy, almost electric. Up in the cockpit, Leah struggled between instinct and fear. If Mason was alive, that meant Eclipse wasn't over. It meant someone had restarted it on. She was the missing piece. Her plane's fuel light flickered. She needed to land, but every direction felt like a trap. Someone was already waiting for her next move. Leah lowered the throttle and guided the plane toward the edge of the cornfield, her heart pounding louder than the engine. The radio crackled again, urgent, desperate. Viper, they're coming for you. Don't land. Repeat, do not land. Mason's voice was barely audible under the static, but before she could answer, her plane's warning lights flared red, fuel pressure dropping fast. Someone had tampered with the tank top below. The black SUVs were no longer parked. They were moving, cutting through the dirt road toward her landing strip. The men in dark gear stepped out, scanning the skies. One of them lifted a small metallic device that hummed with a strange blue pulse. Leah recognized the pattern instantly. It was a signal jammer. Whoever they weren't from any branch she knew. Her instincts kicked in. She yanked the plane up, pushing it beyond safe limits, the engine screaming in protest. The F-35s reappeared on the radar, splitting into formation above her. For a second, she thought they were there to help until one of them locked its targeting laser onto her wings. This is insane, she muttered, forcing the plane into a dive through the clouds. Tom watched helplessly from below, the roar of the fighter jets shaking the ground. He tried calling her again, but the line was dead. In the distance, a low boom echoed across the fields, and a streak of smoke tore across the sky. Leah's plane vanished into the clouds, chased by fire and silence. Smoke trailed behind Leah's plane as she fought to regain control, the altimeter spinning wildly. The engine coughed, then steadied just enough for her to level out. Her breath came sharp and shallow. Whoever was after her wasn't trying to scare her, they were trying to erase her. She flipped her emergency transponder to a hidden frequency, one only her old squadron would remember. Seconds later, a faint response blinked on her radar. Someone else was out there flying low, fast, and closing in. "Mason," she called out, hoping it wasn't another trick. But the voice that answered wasn't his. It was calm, almost robotic. "Viper, you were never supposed to survive eclipse." The words sent a chill through her. The signal was encrypted with the same code they used for top-secret briefings. Only someone from the inside could access it. Down below, Tom watched in disbelief as the sky lit up again. He saw two trails, merged a small plane and a black aircraft that seemed to appear out of nowhere. He'd never seen anything like it. Then his phone buzzed back to life, displaying an unknown message. Asterisk, if she lands, they'll find you too. His blood ran cold. Leah's radar flared red again. The unknown jet was right behind her now, flying so close she could see its sleek, unmarked frame. A new voice broke through the static, familiar, but impossible. "Viper, this is Commander Rains. Stand down. You're interfering with a classified recovery mission." Rains had died in the Eclipse explosion, or at least that's what she'd been told. Leah's hands trembled on the controls as the black aircraft pulled alongside her, its cockpit dark and sealed. Commander Rains' voice echoed again, low and steady. "You were the only one who could finish Eclipse. We needed you to draw them out." Leah's heart pounded. "Draw who out?" she demanded. But before he could answer, the clouds split open to reveal a fleet of drones rising from the horizon. Hundreds of them, moving in perfect synchronization. It wasn't a military exercise. It was a full-scale activation of Project Eclipse. Rain's jet shifted closer. "They were never destroyed, Viper. The program lived on. Mason found the core data, but it's been hijacked. We need you to shut it down before it reaches command." Leah's mind raced. Mason alive. Rains alive. All of them playing parts in a mission she thought had ended in ashes. The truth hit her like cold steel. Eclipse hadn't failed. It had evolved, and she was now the key to stopping it. Her engine sputtered again, smoke curling from beneath the wings. She opened her encrypted panel, the one she swore never to touch again, and typed in her old override code. "If I do this," she said, "I'm ending it for good." Rain's tone darkened. "That's not the plan." Leah hesitated, then pulled the manual eject lever on the data core, sending it plunging toward the Earth. A blinding flash tore across the sky. As her plane spun out, a final transmission came through Mason's voice, faint but clear. "Rains isn't one of us." The explosion faded into a haze of smoke and silence as Leah's parachute drifted toward the cornfields below. Her plane was gone, and so was the data core, burned out before anyone could recover it. The F-35s circled once overhead, then disappeared into the clouds like ghosts. She hit the ground hard, rolling through the dirt, her lungs burning but her heart steady. For the first time in years, she felt like she had done something right. Tom came running from the hangar, shouting her name. When he reached her, Leah was already on her feet, bruised but alive. Behind them, fragments of the black aircraft smoldered in the distance. "You're lucky to be breathing," Tom said, but Leah only nodded, staring at the rising smoke. She knew what it meant. Project Eclipse was finally over, but not everyone involved had vanished.